When we buy a new bundle of fabric, sometimes the fun is just putting it on the shelf and looking at it and admiring it and thinking about what you're going to do. But when it comes time to open it, then there's a commitment being made, and we have to decide exactly what we're going to do with it. This is that for me. I'm Leah Louise from Inspired Quilting by Leah Louise, and I had this black and white bundle of fabric, and I picked it up a month or so ago, and I'm so excited to use it. I absolutely love these prints. And then, of course, with black and white, I love some contrast, bringing in some color. And then I thought, now what pattern am I going to use? And of course, I wanted to use a pattern that specifically has an opportunity to use contrast fabric. So I used my garden path pattern, and it turned out beautiful. You see the two quilts behind me, the green and yellow and gold and orange and blue. That's done with the same pattern, but it's alternating the large and small size blocks, which works out really great. It's a lot of fun to do it that way. The black and white quilt in front is the one that I just made, and that's all made with the larger 15-inch squares, and it looks wonderful. I love how the lattice comes together, and those bold pinks just bring out so much interest in the quilt. Oh, I love it, and I think you're going to enjoy it too. So let me show you how we can do this. If you're interested in getting the pattern, the link is right down below. And please subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. It's great having you here today. Now let's quilt. I just wanted you to see the difference between these two quilt layouts. They're both the same block. You'll notice in this quilt, which is the original garden path, that the alternating blocks are the 15-inch log cabin and the 12-inch log cabin with a sashing around it. And it just gives it more of an asymmetrical look. But let me show you this quilt today. This quilt uses all the same size 15-inch block, and it alternates with light and dark fabrics. There are 5 fabrics per block, and in half of them there are 3 darks and 2 whites, and vice versa on the others. And I think it just helps balance it out better, but I really like how this quilt turned out. Starting a quilt is always so much fun, selecting the fabric, deciding what we're going to make, how it's going to look. So this is the garden path pattern. I'm going to make a 9-block quilt. And these blocks measure 15 inches, or 15 and a half, I think. So that's pretty good size. Actually, you can go with a 12 and bump it up just a little bit more. That way it would be 3 by 4 instead of 3 by 3. So, but for the sake of doing this, we're going to make it on the smaller side so I can get it finished. Now, what I'm going to need will be 9 fat quarters. And this is a collection, it's a Moda collection by Allie Kay called, I have to look up the name, what's it called? Illustrations. I keep wanting to call it Impressions. And there are 10 fabrics, so I need to choose which 9 I want. Now, I am doing this pattern, making it, cutting it out, preparing it in a different way than I did the first one. And I want to show you how this is going to work. So I have 5 of each, 5 with the black background and 5 of the white. And what I'm going to do is I need to take one out, and I'm going to decide which I want to go with. Now these two are very similar, and so I'm going to choose to take this one out, because this is pretty busy, this is moderately busy, and this is a what do I want to say, it's a looser print. There's less going on, whereas you see this is really a tight print, and it, you know, if these were side by side they may conflict a little bit. So we're going to set this one aside, and now I have my 9. Now in doing this, the thing you need to consider is what your overall quilt color is going to be. I'm going to have more of the black background than I'm going to have the white. Now, if I choose to keep this in and perhaps take this one out, or even this one out, then I'm going to have more of the white. So it's just a matter of what, what works for you. And I'm going to do it this way just because I haven't done it this way before. So what we need is to create a 1/4 yard of each piece. These are 1/2 yard pieces, so I'm going to cut them down to 1/4 yards and show you how we are going to cut these. But one other thing that we need in this block, because every block will have most of these colors, most of these fabrics. So these are going to be spread out. Now the first quilt we did with the garden path, each block was its own color scheme, its own colorway. In this case, I'm going to mix each of these fabrics amongst all the different blocks. And that's just going to give it a lot more interest. I think it's going to be a lot more fun. And I just sort of like changing it up that way. But I need an accent fabric, and I'm going to need a 1/2 yard. So 9 1/4 yards, 9 fat quarters of the dominant fabrics. And then your accent fabric, we need to get, 1/2 yard. And I thought this would really be fun. This is going to be the accent strip, so it'll be in small pieces. And having this spread out throughout the different fabrics, I think that's going to create a lot of wonderful contrast. Now, it also, because these are florals, they're organic prints, as is this, I think it goes together great. That's a personal choice for me. But here's another idea. You can go also with something like this, an all over color. Instead of having a specific design, you can have something that's more, a wash of color and pattern. And this is like a seagrass. And I mean, that would be pretty too. So there's a lot of different options. And, it's a matter of what fabric you have on hand, what you like, what mood you're in, all those kinds of factors that really make a difference when you're quilting. So let me get ready and we'll start cutting our fabric. Just look at how easy this block is going to be to put together. We start in the center, we add a couple rows, and then it's finished. So this goes together quickly. Now, we obviously don't want to have all the same print in each block. My idea is to mix this up. So we have 9 layers, and I'm going to, with this one, let's see, I'll take one and put it underneath. Then I'll take 1, 2, and so we'll have a black one there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to actually go down one more because I don't want those two just side by side like that. So I'm going to mix this one this way. And then, let's see, we'll get the black one. I'll just go all the way. Do I have this one? That'll be a perfect one right there. Okay, so now as I pull from my pile, these are going to be different for each block, which makes it a lot of fun. I just think it creates a lot more interest. So I have 9 layers of everything, and I'm going to go make 9 blocks. Okay, I'm going to sew these together. This will go there. Then we add this one, we just go around in a complete circle, get everything joined up. Then we've got the bottom and we have the top. And that's that. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to get this quilt put together before you know it. I just wanted to show you the first round. We have 9 blocks with the first round complete. There's our center square. And then we added the first strip and the second strip went in. Then we put the third strip on the bottom and that fourth strip on the side. And so you can see how each of these look very different. Despite all the same fabrics, it just has a fun layout. So now I'm going to take these and put the second round on, and we have our blocks finished. This is really a quick quilt. Well, here we have a few of the finished blocks, and I think they look wonderful. That bright floral against the black and white is a perfect match. It's a great contrast. And so you'll notice that each block of fabric is a different print in each of our large blocks. So it just creates a really wonderful pattern. And now I'm going to go ahead and put my quilt together. I have 9 blocks made, and that'll give me a 3x3 quilt. So let me get this all put together, and we're going to have a finished quilt. This is an amazingly fast pattern. You're going to love it. Now this is a print with a lot to say. Look at these beautiful prints. Oh my goodness. And the color. That accent is just, placed a little bit in the middle and a little bit on the outer edge. And look at how bright that just stands out, and it brings out all those black and white florals. And then it creates this really nice little sashing or lattice between all the blocks. And I like that a lot. So there you have it, the garden path. And I love doing it in florals because it just makes me think of the English gardens, or gardens that have the pathways. Even the Japanese gardens do that. And you kind of walk around the path and see everything that there is to see. And I think this is gorgeous. I hope you love it as much as I do. It's been a lot of fun to make. Let's see how this looks kind of twirled up in the middle, and get some pretty little quilt action going here. There we have it. All right, what a beauty. I sure appreciate y'all being here with me today. This has been such fun to make, and I hope you get to make your own soon. Thanks so much, and please subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.